I simply find it to be an interesting situation. We're going to talk more about Oompa Loompas in the censorship portion of this video, but for now, let's get back to the story. So after Wonka educates his guests on some Oompa Loompa history, he encourages them to explore the chocolate room, just like in the movies. But of course, your boy Augustus Gloop has to push it. He lays on his big fat belly and slurps from the chocolate river like a dog drinking from his water bowl. And as if that wasn't disgusting enough, his mom shouts that he'll be giving his cold to millions across the country. As Wonka rushes over to Augustus, the fat slob falls into the river, and Mrs. Gloop loses her mind, shouting, "Help! Police! Murder!" at the top of her lungs.
But you know,
Just stand there, do something!
Help! Police! Murder! Before
as far
long,
as I
though,
cannot
Augustus
argue
is
with that.
sucked up in one of the many pipes that extends down into the river and is sent to the fudge room. So Wonka summons one of his Oompa Loompas with a few snaps of his fingers and has the Gloop parents escorted out. Another interesting distinction between the book and films is the book Wonka summons his helpers by snapping, where Wilder's Wonka plays a charming little tune on the pipe. That's where it's take Mrs. Gloop straight to the fudge room, but look sharp. And Depp's Wonka does this. Now, if you were wondering about the Oompa Loompa songs, I'm happy to report they do sing in the book as well. The songs are very different than what we see in the Wilder film, so no Oompa Loompa doody dumps, but Burton's version actually used the original lyrics that were written by Roald Dahl, with Danny Elfman composing them in different genres. Apparently, Dahl pictured the Oompa Loompas' musical numbers as mirroring the role of the Mortis in Greek plays, where they speak directly to the audience and barely interact with the story's main characters at all. The main purpose they served was to underscore the importance of development and they still succeeded in this function.
Guys, the other day I was talking to one of my friends and somehow we lost the conversation. What should we talk about?
This might be the biggest departure the Wilder book takes from the source material. Wonka does still sing a song about there being no perfect way of knowing which direction they are going, and that there's no knowing where they're going or which way the river's flowing, but it's nowhere near as intense as the performance Wilder gives. Also, there's no nightmare-inducing visuals of centipedes falling on faces and chickens having their heads cut off. The Burton film's boat ride is actually more accurate. It leaves out the song because it'd be impossible for Depp to match Wilder's energy here, and it'd be sad to even see him try. But in the book, the boat is made from a giant hollowed-out piece of pink candy that resembles a Viking ship and is rowed by dozens of Oompa Loompas. When the boat ride is over, the tour arrives at the inventing room where they learn about everlasting gobstoppers. As I mentioned before, there isn't nearly as much emphasis placed on the gobstoppers here as in the film, but Wonka does mention that his rivals Ficklegruber, Prodnose, and Slugworth would give their front teeth to be inside the inventing room for just 3 minutes. So maybe that's where the idea for the movie came from. Burton's been 2 stories tall.
Two naughty, nasty little children.
Okay, so okay, so the only actual chip kitchen I have, I actually have designed my kitchen like 3 sleeping times. No, like 4 on paper. Okay, I have a sticky note. I have one I No, 5 times. And when I put on a and when I wrote into my drawing notebook where I have all my ideas. Oh, shoot. Okay, back.
Updates, and you can sell virtually anything
I
you
have all
like.
my drawings, and there I have the original one.
Not to mention
Then I think another one for some other scene ideas.
and an
I don't think
customer service team. It's available 24/7.
two, one in my something in a sticky note one.
Free trial. Financial risk. So not only do you save money during the setup
Some
process,
different
then
one.
if you decide you love it and can't live without it, you can use code Gon Solo.
Inside you can't live without it.
As the tour continues, Wonka and the group walk along the corridor and pass by a ton of sweets that are referenced in the movie, like butterscotch and butter gin, and lickable wallpaper, complete with snozberries that taste like snozberries.
The snozberries taste like snozberries. Snozberries? Never heard of a snozberry. We are the music makers. And we are the
Grab his jaw while
Most
saying
notable,
that.
has to be the fizzy lifting drinks, which fill your stomach with gas
You
and
know.
lift you off the ground. Another major
Get ready to
difference
get
between
paused and
Wilder
then randomly
and
cut
Wilder
like
is that Charlie and
it
Randy
have
don't sneak
years
off
in
to
the
Texas
future.
or almost get chopped to bits by a fan as a result. But Wonka does share that the Oompa Loompas have tried some, and one that was too light to burp his way down floated into the sky and has never been seen again. Wonka also shows off his square candies.
Can't wait to
that
go
float
into the
around.
unescapable.
That
I can't wait to go in the
candies that
unescapable
look
ballroom of death.
It's actually candies are shaped like squares, but they have eyes, giving them the ability to look round. Coming up next is the scene that the 1971 film took in a completely different direction, while Burton followed it almost exactly. The Nut Room. The Nut Room is where Wonka harvests walnuts using the talents of dozens of trained squirrels. He uses squirrels because they're the only beings capable of removing the entire nut from its shell without breaking it. I will say that Burton's commitment to bringing this scene to the big screen is admirable, because he didn't just take the easy route and CGI the entire thing. He actually had 40 squirrels trained over the course of 5 months to sit on a stool, deshell the walnuts, and toss them in a little chute. Of course, he did end up using CGI to boost their numbers, but all of the close-up shots are real. What I've got to put Burton on blast for, though, is what happens in this scene. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong,
thank God.
it follows the book almost exactly, but you'll see what I mean. When Veruca Salt, the spoiled little brat whose parents give her everything she's ever wanted and all the things she's never wanted, decides that she wants a trained squirrel as a pet, Wonka shuts her down. So she decides to grab one herself. Naturally, the squirrels don't appreciate her encroaching on their territory or her crabby little hands, so they gang up on her and test to see if she's a bad nut. When their suspicions are confirmed, they use their super squirrel strength to pick her up and toss her into the garbage chute. My problem with how Burton set up this scene is that the only thing stopping her dad from saving her is a little gate that looks like it's maybe 3.5 feet high at most. Wonka pretends that he can't find the key to unlock it, so Mr. Salt just sits there watching his daughter get assaulted by rodents instead of just stepping over the gate. This dude loves his daughter enough to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to find a golden ticket and even risk falling into the trash chute once she's already gone, but can't climb over the gate? I'm not buying it. Now, if you haven't seen the Burton movie or read the book, then
What the
everything that I
frick
just
looks
described has
wrong?
probably been a surprise to you, because in the Wilder
Oh,
movie, there is no nut. Instead, we get some giant geese that lay golden eggs. Now, this was probably because of CGI limitations, but I also suspect that not having the time or money to spend 5 months paying for squirrel trainers also played a factor. The end result of this scene is the same, though. Veruca can't get what she wants. She throws a tantrum. When she makes the mistake of stepping on the egg scale, it says she's a bad egg, and down the chute she goes.
Be a lot of garbage.
Now, as we get into the book's third act, all three versions of the story that we're talking about start to
Polis
diverge in their own
Idol.
direction, so you're going to want to pay close attention.
Look,
With
it's the
only two
Polis
of the
Idol
5 ticket
ballroom.
winners remaining, Wonka
The basic
decides it's the perfect time
extremely,
to
yes.
show
Is
off
that
his big
can you
glass
see it?
elevator, which can go in any direction you
Please
can
no.
think of and can access every
Please no.
single room in the factory. Then, just like in the Burton film, the group goes on a tour where they witness some truly amazing sights, like a mountain made entirely of fudge, complete with
Okay, you
Oompa
wanna know
Loompas
my
climbing
plan for this?
After running